Welcome to Rewatch First Watch, Side Star. I am your first watcher, KeybladeSpirit.
And I'm rewatching, and I'm Lumia. And today we are rewatching Gunbuster.
Yes, Gunbuster. Episode 5 this time.
We're getting near to the end.
Yes, and then we're going to start Diebuster, because this isn't really the Gunbuster Rewatch First Watch. This is the Topo Nerai, aka Aim for the Top Rewatch First Watch.
Yes, we tricked you all. There was actually more to this than expected. We're not even near the end. We're only halfway there.
We're not even halfway there. Next week we'll be halfway there.
Yes. So, what were your thoughts, Key?
Okay, the first kind of cool thing that I noticed, like cool as in funny, you know those little grid things that that mecha building kits come in? Like they're these they're these flat things that all the parts are attached to.
Yeah,
and you kind of have to
lying around my room.
Yeah, you kind of have to twist the parts out in order to start building the thing.
You don't twist them out. You cut them off with an X-Acto knife. What kind of gunpla builder are you?
I'm not a gunpla builder.
You're supposed to cut them out with an X-Acto knife and or pliers, pinchers.
Okay, well now I know that. Anyway, the big space fleet Elytrium has that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got robot parts in those grid things. Like you can see it in like one of the first, like the first time you see it, you can see one of them right there. Yeah, it's really funny, and it kind of shows how much of nerd culture Gainax was coming from when they made this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they went like that far out of their way to make sure that that they had that little reference in there that probably wasn't even necessary.
I mean, a lot of the details in Gunbuster in general aren't that necessary. Like the landing leaf, details on the hand from last episode. The wires when we see the transformation sequence inside Gunbuster's interior.
Yeah.
Like,
although I would say that that's kind of necessary in that it gives more of the sense that this is a real robots show rather than a super robots.
Well, that's the thing about this is that it's really, I feel like it's hard to classify because the lore around the world is very real robot, but the show itself is Gunbuster himself is very super robot in many ways, though.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that.
Sure.
Yeah, because like my second note, and this is just a little one that I mentioned during the episode. There's a guy with a Gainax armband.
Yes, that was very funny until you pointed it out during our watching. I never caught that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I love little details like that too. Little meta references and funny things. Like in the last episode, the bit with the commander guy looking at Coach through the through the window as opposed to in the room where you could see the Coach in the background. Like I've mentioned that before, and that's kind of redundant, but it's super funny, and I love that.
I know what you. This episode I don't think had as many of those, or at least I didn't notice as many.
Yeah, there weren't really as many. Although I do, going forward, because there's not that much to say about that, unless you've got more to say.
No.
Okay, going forward, I'm starting to notice like some of what became Evangelion in this.
This one's very hardcore Eva.
Yeah. Like
the lighting is done in the way that Eva's done.
Yeah. And well, even beyond that, I'm just talking about base story elements. Like the bully girl that Noriko talks to. She's in this episode specifically, she seems like she's just a better emotionally adjusted Asuka. Because her crush on the coach, I've realized, parallels very well with Asuka's crush on Kaji.
Yeah. Oh,
Except
damn.
except Bully Girl gets over it and decides she's gonna try to be with someone else.
Yeah. It worked out for her.
Yeah.
We also see the original bully girl, who didn't really do much, become a coach.
Yeah, that's Kimiko, right?
No, Kimiko was Noriko's best friend.
Okay.
You're thinking of Hifumi. I think that's her name.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Hifumi becomes a coach. Kimiko is now a mom.
Yeah, and
Um,
such a good character design for a mom specifically.
oh no, she looks it, and we really do see how much she's aged over the 10-year time skip that occurred while, well, not 10-year time skip, the 10 years that have passed while we were in space on Fun Adventures.
Yeah.
And
It's
it
cool.
just, I also really like Noriko's isolation from society because of this, because she can't relate to anyone anymore because of being in space.
Yeah. That is that was very sad.
It is.
Uh, uh, I also noticed, back to Ava parallels,
Mm-hmm.
Misato, at least from where I'm standing, clearly took a lot of design cues from Amino. Like, in the fact that, like, just in Amino's character design, I was, like, in the shots that she was in this show, or in this episode, visually, she reminded me a lot of Misato.
She does have a much more mature sequence, so I guess I could see it.
Yeah. And then on top of that, throughout this series, from what I can tell, Amino has sort of been taking more of a caretaker role in terms of no, in terms of Noriko, and which becomes an interesting subversion later in the
Yeah.
episode, because as it turns out, Noriko, despite being less of the caretaker archetype, becomes more of the emotional support for Amino in the big, like, before and during the big fight scene toward the end.
Well, in a sense, this scene is kind of mirroring where Noriko was emotionally when Smith died.
Yeah. That
So
too.
this was the equivalent for Amino, except Noriko, who had gone through a similar experience of accepting death with someone she cared about,
Yeah.
helps Amino go through emotions much easier because she's able to very much relate with it.
Yeah. But I feel like it went beyond what Noriko went through, because Noriko is talking very much about how Amino needs to do this specifically so that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that is true. While she was on home, she got to see Kimiko and Kimiko's life, and seeing what she's fighting for, in a sense, is for her friends, for Kochi, which is effectively her best friend, or not Kochi,
Yeah.
red hair girl. Pretty much those are like her only friends, is besides Amino.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fighting for these people.
Yeah. This was a good episode.
No, it was. This is kind of like, in a sense, like the emotional climax, or not maybe the emotional climax, but the emotional tension is at the highest right now it is throughout the entire show, because it's just a lot of time in this episode spent on the drama of the characters and the world.
Yeah. A lot of it was.
And it all builds up to like literally 3 minutes of action footage, which is some of the most iconic mecha scenes ever.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Super Robot DNA in there. I saw,
Yeah.
like, a lot of stuff that was probably influenced by Gundam and then later went on to influence further Gundam.
Probably. I mean, the Super Inazuma kick is at its perfection here.
Yeah.
And I know that kick is still referenced heavily. I mean, like literally in this season with a jump kick. Shoot, I forgot the name. But we talked about it on our seasonal cast.
Yeah, I don't remember what you're talking about either.
It was literally about like jump kicking people, and I can't remember the title right now.
Oh, I don't remember either.
Yeah. Either way, I'll look it up after a second. The entire gimmick of not the gimmick. That kick with the beautiful lights and the way it's animated is like the most iconic version of that kick, which I know is heavily referenced in a stupid amount of anime.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved when because clearly the Gunbuster does not have a cape, right? But
No.
But then when it uses its shield, it's clearly meant to look like a cape. Or like it's pulled a cape over its nose. Like a vampire. That was really cool.
Right? The cape is so cool. Also, the show I was thinking of was Jazz and Chan Dropkick.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dropkick My Devil.
Yeah, in that episode, they do the same dropkick. But the cape thing, hilarious, great. Gunbuster's so overpowered.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's so cool.
Yeah.
With all the emotional buildup, it just makes the sequence of these girls lashing out against the universe, knowing that they're fighting a losing battle in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
With literally one of the coolest mechs ever. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. And I loved the detail that that the door to the Gunbuster was in the hand.
That was hilarious.
When it set down, because that's kind of a trope for mecha anime where the mecha puts its hand down and then people step off of it.
Yeah,
but this time the pilots step out of it. And that was also when I realized that Amino and Noriko were piloting the Gunbuster together. I didn't catch that until right then. I thought maybe Amino was in something else or something.
No, when you see them moving in the body, when it does like the X-ray shot where you see like the red dots, that's where they are in the mech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they do it. Okay, so Gunbuster is literally just Get a Robo in terms of mech design.
Okay.
And by that, I mean in Get a Robo, they do the same thing where like when they connect, the pilots move at different places into the body. Yeah. This is very heavily referenced, but being more influenced by. It's funny because Get a Robo is very inspired by. Not Get a Robo. Gunbuster is very much inspired by Get a Robo, and Get a Robo gets inspired by Gunbuster later on in Armageddon, etc.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't get me wrong though, but Gunbuster's better than every version of Get a Robo. That I've seen. I've read most of the mangas of Get a Robo. But I found that always to be cool when you see that homage paid and they pay homage back.
Yeah.
They do it in a similar way, I guess I could say, without having to pull up the exact shot.
Yeah. Now, I also think, speaking of when the Gunbuster, of when Noriko and Amino were combining into the Gunbuster, I noticed, and this is a big stretch, but those, and I think they were introduced in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Those, I think they were droids that were used basically just as spaceships.
Yes.
They look kind of like squashed down Vulcan TIE fighters.
The Vulcan?
Maybe?
I'll send you a picture and you tell me.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah. Anyway, the ship that Amino was in, like after it transformed, looked a lot like one of those. And it makes me wonder if that was the inspiration for that design. Yeah, those.
Okay, yeah, the Vulcan droids. I'm not sure when they were introduced into Star Wars.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm sure that they were introduced in Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
I was just...
I'll take your word on that. I know they're in episode 3, but honestly, once we get to episode 3 of Star Wars, things that get introduced is really hard to tell when, because a lot of EU content came out revolving around the Clone Wars then.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. Could Gunbuster beat Darth Vader in a fight? Probably.
I would believe that. But anyway...
It's got so much firepower.
Yeah, I didn't want to get off onto that tangent specifically, but yeah, the Vulcan droids. Something makes me think that they were based on that brief shot of Amino in her half of the Gunbuster.
I have no idea how many, graphic artists at LucasArts watched anime in like the 2000s.
Yeah. I mean,
so I have no idea.
Yeah. Like there had to I guarantee that George Lucas was at least, like, if not an anime fan, at least in some way influenced by anime.
He was influenced by Japanese samurai movies.
Yeah, I know that much.
There is that, but I don't know if he saw anime when making any of the Star Wars movies.
Okay.
I know he's a big Akira Kurosawa fan, who I will watch some of his movies one day.
Yeah. Like I said, this is all...
Yeah.
To the audience right now, we are not experts on this. And Lumia is more of an expert on Star Wars than I am, but...
I like to think I know a few things about Star Wars. And by that I mean I have spent time on Wikipedia, and I've read some books and some comics.
Yes. And so anyway, if anything we're saying is wrong,
make fun of Keyblade.
Yeah, make fun of me, unless Lumia got something wrong.
Even if I get something wrong, blame it on Key, because that would be mean to make fun of a girl online. Oof.
Yes, that's a big oof. Indeed.
I'm kidding. I don't care. Call me out if I said something wrong. I will accept it.
Yeah, call her out, but still make fun of me.
Yeah. Summary. Gunbuster's good. Oh, wait, no, we're not done yet.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we're not?
You don't have anything more to say? If not, I'll go on our tangent for a short bit.
Yeah, I don't really have anything more, and we've gone for a good 20 minutes already.
Okay, well, I have more to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so after all that emotional build-up, Gunbuster's so overpowered. We just see him just literally kill hundreds of, well, not hundreds of millions, like millions of, tens of millions of enemies by himself.
Yeah.
With, like, he just has a stupid arsenal. He's got, like, the cool shocky bits that come out of his hands and go, psh,
yeah,
and it blows everything up. And it just, and he goes zoom, zash, and blah.
Yeah.
And then he goes kaboom, and that's why I love Gunbuster. Yes, I gave a new type impression of it.
Yeah, the homing lasers were sick.
All of his attacks were like,
I don't even know how it was done or what, like what the. What it was, no, I don't even know what it was supposed to be, but the thing where it shot the laser and it reflected off of a bunch of very specific points. Between the two,
because the enemy, they were trying to kill the alien, but they couldn't because it was reflective to lasers. That's why they did the electricity attack.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like part of the attack.
No, they were trying to kill the thing that was trying to squash them.
Yeah,
that's how I always interpret it.
Okay.
Because it didn't do anything after they fired it.
Okay, I thought it was like a part of the plan.
Oh, I always interpret it as just like it failed. It was a failed attack, and then they just said, "Okay, let's do our second stupid cool attack that just has laser gauntlets in our hands that shoot lightning out of it."
Yeah.
It's the coolest fucking gun. It's so fucking cool. It's just so cool.
It was sick, for sure.
It really pays off for the less than not that less than stellar. I mean, less than stellar by this anime standards.
Yeah.
Like this episode without those last like 3 minutes isn't the best animated of the show until the last 3 minutes where the entire fight goes on, because everything at that point is like gotta be at least 24 frames, that entire sequence.
Yeah, definitely.
With on top of the like really cool effects. It's so perfect. I love Gunbuster. The action has peaked. All the payoff of the slow first 3 episodes pays off here, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about Gunbuster. We should chill some things.
Yes. Comment on. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nexus was going to try and join us. He could not, unfortunately, because he's being a busy boy doing real projects.
Yeah,
we're rooting for you, Nex. Yeah. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, he's a good boy who's making good art. Patreon.com/Nexus_Mania. I think that's what it is.
It'll be in the link in the description.
Yes, link in the description.
Go read Bunny Wave. It's great. Subscribe to ToneCan and comment what's your favorite mecha. And if you don't have a favorite mecha, go watch Gunbuster and make Gunbuster your favorite mecha.
Yes.
So I guess comment mecha.
Yes, comment. Okay. If you made it this far, tell us what influence, yes or no?
What?
Comment that.
I don't know what you're saying. Oh,
yes.
Well. Bye.
Bye. Patreon.com/Asterios.